welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something different, and that's talking about Tazir Blood War Core 3 Episode 4 and everything that happened before that. But we're gonna be focusing on URYU himself, because ever since the last reaction I've seen in the comments you guys pointing out, oh, why are you so confused about URYU's switch up? It's so obvious. Yeah, it was obvious. For like 366 episodes it was obvious, and now all of a sudden my boy doesn't care, wants to kill everybody he ever loved and everybody that ever cared for him, and he's willing to do anything, even kill Ichigo and the others, his closest friends, for YHWACH, right? So that's something that I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it, right? So I'm here to talk about it. I'm not like running away from it. I always try to explain in the reaction itself, but you guys are focusing on the actual reaction, and you don't really listen to me that much. You listen, but then you cherry pick what offends you, and then you go based on that and create narratives that I didn't actually say, and you paint me as somebody who doesn't understand anything, and it doesn't matter. A lot of you actually had a frame of thought to explain things to me in the comments, and I'm gonna read some of these comments and respond here so you can better understand where I'm coming from when I react to these episodes and what's actually confusing me. So I already said the first part. So we didn't get any new intel here. Like, URYU for half of the show knew where QUINCIES stand on, right? He knew that they were decimated, genocide by the Soul Reapers for a particular purpose, because they kept killing the Hollows, who are poisonous to them, right? And because they have so much rate to, like, the Hollows keep attacking them, so they defend and right, kill them, and they cause disbalance in the universe, and that's why the Soul Reaper said enough is enough, and they went out of their way to kill the QUINCIES, and that's why URYU is basically the last QUINCIE, not counting his granddad and his father, even though, well, his granddad's already dead thanks to Kuratsuchi, but regardless, right? All that has been known for a while now. URYU didn't learn anything different, like no new info was presented, right? So you guys telling me, oh, it's not so like ridiculous for URYU to side with YHWACH considering what he knows. Yeah, and he's been knowing that for like 300 episodes, and that didn't prevent him from teaming up with Ichigo, who's part Soul Reaper and part QUINCIE, which URYU didn't know he was part QUINCIE until the last episode, I'm pretty sure. So for all intents and purposes, for URYU, Ichigo was a Soul Reaper. His dad was a Soul Reaper. He was multiple times in the Serete helping the Soul Reapers survive and fight countless battles. And he was even saved in Hueco Mundo, if I'm not mistaken, by Kuratsuchi. He fought Kuratsuchi. That was his first big battle, right? Kuratsuchi mocked him the entire time, and his QUINCIE race being eradicated. And even after that, URYU still worked with Kuratsuchi and the others. So it seemed it gave me the impression that sure, like URYU never liked the Soul Reapers, but he accepted the history and he accepted the fact that they were eradicated for a reason, and then he moved on. And in my mind, he moved on, and now this whole arc is a major switch up on URYU's part. And I would understand if he got some valuable new info that changed the whole history and think the way he looked at it, but no new info was presented, only some YHWACH info, which is also very crazy to me that he's willing to do all that. Like, he's not just willing to side with the QUINCIES. I would understand that, but like, I would understand if he was siding with QUINCIES, but at the same time showing us remorse, and he was a bit apologetic to Ichigo. But no, he literally struck down Ichigo dead in the last episode. My boy did not even hesitate. In fact, Ichigo was the one that hesitated. His attack was, I would argue, maybe even stronger than like URYU's, but he missed because he wasn't aiming to kill. He was aiming to defend himself, while URYU was aiming to kill, which is a switch up. Like, you're not even feeling a shred of remorse towards one of your best friends that you bonded over for 300 episodes, and you just strike him down like that, and your only like explanation is, oh, I'm a QUINCIE. Like, shut the hell up. Like, right? At least give us an explanation or something. No, he's not offering anything. He doesn't feel like he owes anybody anything, which is a switch up. It is. It's a major switch up. He doesn't care about his friends at all, family, nothing. In fact, he's willing to do everything he can to help YHWACH, who wants to destroy everything. everything as it stands. He wants to change everything. And URYU firsthand saw how horrible YHWACH treats his fellow Quincies. That's another thing. I would understand if YHWACH was very kind to Quincies, if he actually cared for Quincies. No, Quincies are a means to an end to him. They're disposable, and they're like, he doesn't care about them at all. He kills them whenever it suits him. He absorbs their power. He does all types of shit to them. He does not care as long as he gets what he wants. So in my mind, all of you, I said this through the reactions. Some of you don't like me because of it. I don't fake my reactions. I just tell you how I feel. 1,000-Year Blood War feels like a different show than Bleach. It doesn't feel like a continuation of Bleach, which is not necessarily bad. The animation, the story, it's good as hell. It just doesn't give me that vibe, because ever since YHWACH came to be, it's all about YHWACH. And a lot of YHWACH fanboys in the comments can't comprehend me liking Aizen more than YHWACH. I'm not taking away the badassery of YHWACH, but Aizen is just on a different level for me, and most of you, I've seen some people share my sentiment, right? So when I downplay YHWACH, it's not me really downplaying him. I understand he's OP. I understand he's probably gonna whoop everybody. He just absorbed the Soul King, which is crazy powerful, right? I'm just expressing how I feel, which is that I'm not that impressed by YHWACH. I'm just not. As a character, he's not doing anything for me, right? He's just this big threat that we need to defeat, and I'm just hoping Aizen has a part in it. And that's it, right? No reason for you guys to get salty about that. That's just my opinion. So I'm here to explain my way of thinking. So I already said about URYU why I think it's a switch up, because he has no remorse for his friends, bro. He didn't explain himself at all, and he's willing to go so far as to kill them for this YHWACH character who doesn't even care about any Quincy, bro. He would kill URYU if it served his purpose right now. And URYU should know that. Like, URYU is one of the smartest among Ichigo and the others, right? And he somehow doesn't see that. He sees it, and he still doesn't care. It's a switch up. It is. It is. And you saying, oh, what if somebody genocide your whole family? Yeah, sure. But I would hate their guts from the very beginning, and I would never work with them or ever befriend them if I was to really feel like that, right? But if somebody came to me and told me, yo, listen, your ancestors were butchered 1,000 years ago by the ancestors of this guy, and this guy changed over the course of the 1,000 years, I wouldn't judge that guy, because the sins of the father, right? But listen, I'm gonna give you this point. The Serete and the Soul Reapers didn't really change. They're still kind of like this is like a dictatorship world based on the Serete and the Soul Reapers. They're in charge, right? Which brings me to another point. Now, all you YHWACH fanboys out there, you're not gonna like this point, but it's a valid point. Tell me in the comments why it's not a valid point if you disagree with me. No, listen, this is not me hating on YHWACH, but it's how I see things. And I might, what I'm about to say might be predicated on something I didn't understand, so feel free to correct me in the comments. So as I see it, before this free universe thing was going on, before the Soul King split the one universe into 3 universes, right, there was only one universe. And in that universe, everything lived at once. Meaning humans, hollows, and Quincies, and Soul Reapers. Everybody was in this one universe. And then one day the Soul King said, enough is enough. I'm gonna split this universe into 3 universes, Hueco Mundo, Earth, and the Serete, and I'm gonna be the pillar that holds them together. Thus, he created this whole cycling system of people dying and not living forever, and souls and all that, right? And the Quincies had a problem with that, because that system doesn't go into their favor. Why? Because they're more susceptible to hollows, right? They have more Reitu, if I understood it, and the hollows keep attacking them more than the others, and hollows Reishi is I think poisonous to them, which is why they kill hollows. They disintegrate them because they're not good for them, right? And that's why YHWACH doesn't like this world, right? He doesn't like that it's not like YHWACH basically wants to bring back the first world where everybody lives in harmony, right? But it's not really harmony, is it? Because let me paint you a picture. In this world, as it is, the Quincies only need to kill the hollows that attack them, which is easy for Quincies, right? Because if it's not an Espada level threat, they can't touch the Quincies. The Quincies have way bigger powers, and they can just nullify that one hollow or two that attacks them and be on their merry way, right? And that's it. That's the only thing they need to do in order to keep living in this universe. And that's it. But what they do is, or what they did before they got genocide, they went out of their merry way to hunt hollows down and kill them, which brought this balance to the three universes, and that's why the Soul Reaper said enough is enough. The only solution is to eradicate them, which I'm not condoning that at all, right? But the Quincies play a part in that too, for being stubborn as hell. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a way for them to just keep living and not make a big deal out of it. Sure, yes, they would be the ones targeted by the hollows more than the others, but they can deal with it. They're strong enough, and if they united, created a community, they could have dealt with it rather easily. Now, if we go back to the first world, the humans would be fucked. And I'm not just saying that. They would be fucked, brah. Sorry for cussing. Because imagine a world where Quincy, Soul Reapers, and humans and hollows live in one realm. The humans would be destroyed, brah. Killed, mauled. Right? They have no way of defending themselves at all from any of the races. Any of them. They have no powers. Like, Quincies have a way to defend against hollows in this world, as it is. But the humans don't. So, this brings us back to YHWACH being an extreme whiny bitch that just wants to have his way. He's not willing to compromise at all. He's not. And he's using what happened 1,000 years ago of his Quincy race being eradicated by the Soul Reapers to fuel his anger and justify his actions. Which I can understand. Yeah, they did genocide them, but there was a reason for it. It wasn't hatred. It was so the freaking universes wouldn't collapse because the Quincies wouldn't stop bringing this balance by destroying the hollows. That's how I got it. So YHWACH coming back after 1,000 years, using Aizen's plan, all this, of being like having the Almighty sing the future. Listen, don't spoil me in the comments. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of context because I don't read the manga. I'm not ahead. I don't know what's gonna happen. This is just me understanding the story as it is. So, in my eyes, YHWACH is just whiny, bruh. Like, why are you like going out of your way to destroy everything that's pretty much good for 90% of the universe? The 10% being Quincies, they don't like the way, but they can live in this world. Like, for all intents and purposes, the only thing they need to do is just get rid of the hollows that come and attack them, which is not a lot, and it's basically fodder hollows that, like, maybe it's more, I don't know. But to go to this extent, to kill the god, like, Soul King is like their god, he's the creator, and if the Soul King said, okay, this one universe isn't working, I'm gonna split it into three, who is YHWACH to question him? Like, yeah, sure, he's a direct descendant of the Soul King, but so is everybody else, the way I see it. So YHWACH gives himself, oh, I'm the, like, I don't see him having the claim to the throne any more than Aizen has. Which is another interesting point. Aizen might be, because I was thinking how they might use Aizen. Aizen is immortal, and he has, like, crazy power. So they might actually put him to be the next Soul King, because Aizen wanted to be the Soul King. He wanted to be the one that stands on top. So they might actually put him in place of what Tukitake is doing now, is draining the power of the Soul King's arm to maintain the balance for a little longer until we defeat Yuha somehow, right? So maybe they can use Aizen to do that indefinitely, because my boy definitely has the ability to do so. He's powerful as hell, and the Hogyoku gives him that eternal strength. So maybe that's how they're gonna tell Aizen, listen, you're gonna be in charge, you're gonna be on top. But they're just gonna nullify him into parts like the Soul King, so he's not gonna have a conscience, and the Squad Zero is just gonna take over again, and it's all gonna go back to normal. Only Aizen's body is gonna be propped up there, and his power, he's gonna be used as a battery. That's my prediction. But regardless, I'm straying off the point. The topic here is why I found URYU to like, for him to have such a major switch up. That's the switch up. Like, I'm not arguing that his pain and the suffering that his people went through, I'm not arguing that didn't happen. I'm not arguing that isn't a valid reason for him to hate the Soul Reapers and the Serite and all that. But you gotta admit it's a switch up. Like, you can't just keep mentioning that and ignoring the switch up. I'm not just saying it's a switch up just to say it. It's a switch up because for 300 episodes he worked with those same Soul Reapers, helped protect the Serete, all like the way of living, everything. And then as soon as YHWACH came here, he didn't get any new info that I know of, right, that would defend him for having such a switch up. And then he said, bet I'm willing to kill everybody I ever loved now for this person that's awful to Quincy's. What? So he's basically that one friend that is good and cool with you, and as soon as he gets a little bit of power, he just switches up. That's what URYU just did. He literally shot down Ichigo for trying to stop YHWACH, even though Ichigo's 10 times, or rather URYU should be 10 times better with Ichigo than YHWACH. You don't even know YHWACH. I mean, I guess they share memories because they're Quincy's and all that, but I don't know. Maybe URYU found out something I don't. And now that's why he's doing all of this. Anyway, I rambled for long enough. Half of you are not even listening to me anymore. But I'm about to read some of these comments because some of these comments are really good, bro. Guys, I really appreciate you when you explain things, right? Even though some of these are wrong, or rather I don't agree with them, right? But I still enjoy reading them. I enjoy you articulating your point of view to me without cussing at me. I love that, right? And I apologize. I know I used to do these sort of videos way more back in the day, but I'm just busy, bro. But I'm gonna try and do more of this. I'm gonna have to wear my glasses now because I'm gonna have to read, right? So the first comment is from Getsu2930. To understand URYU, let's say everyone in the world dies. Their souls will not perish because in the new balancing system that YHWACH wants to create, he can take these souls to his heaven. In other words, he can bring everyone in the world to an afterlife where there is no fear of death and create his own utopia, aka heaven. Also, there is no room for Quincy in the current world structure. In other words, the Soul King abandoned YHWACH, knowing this, and the Shinigami turned the Soul King into a battery. Okay, so yeah, that's why. Okay, YHWACH wants to save his father from the humiliation he fell into, and he wants to create a new world, heaven, where Quincy can live. So I don't agree, right? I just said it. Like you can argue this, of course, but to say that there's no room for Quincy's in the current world structure is false, because they obviously could live here. They just had to stop going out of their merry way to kill and hunt hollows just because they don't like hollows, because they're poisonous to them. No, hollows are important to the world balance. They understood that, and they should have only destroyed hollows that attacked them, or rather worked with the Soul Reapers to always have a Soul Reaper nearby that can protect them from the hollows trying to attack them, right? Or eradicate those hollows. Just don't go out of your way to disbalance the universe, and all would have been fine. But no, I would argue this is YHWACH's ego, him wanting to have it his way, and he ain't willing to compromise. That's how I see it. Now, I respect this comment, how respectfully he tried to explain the situation to me. I don't agree with it, but you can tell me in the comments if you have a good argument why I should agree with it. Maybe there's something in the manga or something I'm missing, but so far as the story is, I see it as Yuha just being a whiny bitch. Like, come on, dude. Like, you're willing to sacrifice all your Quincy's just to be on top. How is that different from Aizen, bro? Like, only at least Aizen admits he's a villain. I mean, he doesn't admit it, but he's a narcissist, so he at least admits that he wants to be on top, right? So it doesn't matter. So that was a cool comment. Let's look at the others. The sarcastic liberal says, the sarcastic liberal? I hope the sarcastic part is that you're not a liberal. But let's continue. It's more complicated than everybody dying if YHWACH plans is successful, because the concept of death would no longer exist. The living world, Soul Society, and Wakemundo would get slammed together into the realm. Yeah, he wants to basically bring back the first world, right? This would and did suck for humanity, as they would be the same world of hollow spirit beings. Exactly what I said. Exactly what. But have no spiritual powers. Exactly. They would be fucked. Also, if they get eaten by hollows, their souls would just get absorbed. And yes! There were so many nasty halls empowered by consuming millions of souls prior to the Soul King dividing the realms, including the ones that was powerful that Ichiban and Yotsu had to deal with. Back then, Quincy didn't disrupt the world because there was no flow of souls, and the Prime Soul King's attacks Quincy based on completely... Okay! He agrees with me. Splitting the realms created that issue and basically marked them for death. I mean... For death? And then Warrior Isaac would be, okay, don't spoil me. But really, back then Quincy didn't disrupt the world because there was no flow of souls, and the Prime Soul King's attacks are Quincy's based in completely annihilated hollows. I mean, yeah, but in this world, like I said, in this world, the Quincy's were strong enough to defend themselves from hollows. Maybe if it was in a Spada level threat, but they never really showed up. Like, let's not cap. And the Soul Reapers would help if the Quincy's were willing to work with them, but no. YHWACH and the others wanted their way, and their way or the highway, and then they get nuked, and they're like, hey, yo, we're the victims. I mean, that's how I see it. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I mean, I guess a lot of you are gonna think that I'm wrong, but just explain it in a way for me to get it, because so far, this seems like what I'm saying has some merit. But maybe I'm tripping. Truth Crusader 360 says, the fact that this wasn't even a priority, let alone a high priority episode, okay, are you gonna in the manga, or needless to say, they completely cooked with the adaptation. Oh yeah, okay. He raises a valid point. Everything stayed, but I'm not what I think should be. Okay, so that's a point. Regardless, he raises a good point. A lot of you were very happy with this episode because you guys explained the manga doesn't really adapt a lot of it. Like, you never got the URYU versus Ichigo fight, and they did a splendid job in this latest episode, right? So a lot of you guys love this for that purpose, because they're like giving you parts that weren't in the manga and you always wanted to see. They're doing it a bit differently this time. They're doing it the right way. So you guys are defending it with your life, which I respect. And I enjoyed the hell out of the last episode and all these episodes. Don't get me wrong. I'm just being critical a little. Like, I'm just having an open mind, a discussion. You can explain to me, and if I understand it, and hey, maybe it's my capacity to understand, maybe I'm dumb as hell, right? But so far as it seems, it just seems like an ego thing. It doesn't seem like a necessity for YHWACH to bring back the one world structure, because in that world structure, humans would be fucked, like I said. Way more than the Quincy's are in this world. So, as far as I see it, their god, the Soul King, he also has the Almighty. Maybe even stronger than YHWACH. So there's a reason why he split it into 3 worlds, bro. And there's probably a reason why he didn't stop YHWACH from doing this, because he probably saw it coming. So I don't know, man. I'm probably missing a lot of context because I don't read the manga and all that. But hey, you guys are gonna tell me in the comments if I suck. Lucky literally predicted the next episode. What do you mean? Help is on its way, bro. So next episode, Aizen confirmed. Yo, that's gonna be hype as hell, man. That's gonna be hype as hell. Okay. Is there another explanation? Oh, here we go. Prolonged exposure to hollows raises poison to Quincy's and will result in the soul deteriorating and death for the weaker Quincy's. Yeah. Okay, so there's a point to be raised here as well. Not all Quincy's are on URYU level, right? So maybe not all of them would be able to defend against even basic hollows. So that might be a problem in this world structure, but as we saw it, like we saw a flashback with URYU and his family and all that when he was younger, and Ichigo's mom, right? URYU's dads, when they were all younger. I mean, they lived like nobility, like they were really careful about going out, and like, yeah, sure, living that way is a bit, you know, like why do we have to live so cautiously when others can just live? But it's still, I think, a better deal than for humans to be in the same world as Hollows, Soul Reapers, and Quincy's, bro. Humans would be screwed, man. They have no way of defending themselves. At least Quincy's have a way of defending themselves. So I think that's where the Soul King mind was at when he decided to split the universes. Going back 1,000 years, Soul Society was mostly a lawless place, and Quincy's had to fend for themselves in that time. Then the war happened, and calling of Quincy's happened afterwards. What do you mean, going back 1,000 years, Soul Society was mostly a lawless place and Quincy's had to fend for themselves? Is this when the Soul Society... Okay, so if the Soul Society existed, this was already the 3 universes, okay? So Quincy's lived in those... Like, why... Quincy's lived with the Soul Reapers? Why didn't they live in the real world, like the Earth, with the humans? They would be able to defend themselves better there, because the humans can't really harm them and the Halls have to go out their way to attack them there. So, okay. And then 200 years ago, Soul Reapers got somewhat lazy and Quincy started killing Halls again. because the Soul Reapers didn't do a good enough job, and they tell the Quincies to stop killing Hollows because of the balance of souls. So they pretty much told them to just die. And the Quincies didn't stop, and the Soul Reapers killed the Quincies again. Okay, I see. So this brings a little bit of context. So the Soul Society wasn't willing to bend the laws, but at the same time they weren't willing to help. So the Quincies had to, but did they have to go out of their way to hunt down Hollows and kill them? Or couldn't have they just survived if they just killed the Hollows that attacked them? I know that's no way to live, but I still argue it's a better way to live than humans in the same world as all these creatures not having a single way to defend themselves. But I could be wrong. I can see your guys' point, but the whole, like, I've rambled way too much off the topic. The topic was, why do I find URYU's switch up to be so big? Because it is big. Like, he knew, like, no new info was introduced. He knew all of this since the beginning. He chose to work with the Soul Reapers multiple times with Ichigo. Everything was cool, and all of a sudden YHWACH's here and he's willing to kill for him. That's a switch up. That is a switch up. But I just used this video to talk about everything since I'm doing a video and I'm probably never gonna have the time to do this again. A few years back, Mayuri deliberately interfered with the deployment of Soul Reapers because he wanted some test subjects, Quincy's, for his riches to... Okay, yeah, that was messed up. Kuratsuchi, well, he was in jail. Arguably, Urahara found Kuratsuchi in jail because he was a menace to society. But I guess that happened afterwards. Regardless, yeah, the Soul Reapers really didn't care about the Quincy's. I agree with that. But I did make some valid points. I still think I did. I understand the hate. Quincy's have all the right to not like the Serete, the Soul Reapers, and the current world structure. They really do. But URYU's switch up is crazy. He sided with the Quincy's and he is just showing no remorse. He just does not care. He's willing to kill, he's willing to butcher, he's willing to do anything. So that's a switch up for me. But everything else can be argued. But I would say if I was a Quincy, I would probably, you know, fight for my rights, so to speak. But yeah, they're basically, the Quincy's are basically doing an Eren, right? Only Eren's situation was way more desperate, I would argue. But basically, yeah, they're willing to destroy everything for their betterment. Basically, they are being a little whiny, but hey, it is what it is. It's still about survival, I would argue. But let me read more. YHWACH decided to go against the people, using his father's corpse, resulting in the Quincy's under him being wiped out. The Quincy's remained on Earth, got continuously persecuted by Soul Reapers, and then almost wiped out by the Soul Reapers 200 years ago. His grandfather got killed, and okay. He's trying to put the world back to how it originated. There's nothing more natural than that. Yeah, but the Soul Reaper is the one in charge, not YHWACH. Who's YHWACH to say anything? If the Soul Reaper decided this was the best course of action, who is YHWACH to question that, right? So, like, I see the Soul King as their god. I'm guessing it's not. He's just like a battery for them, but I don't know, bro. I understand the Soul... I'm not defending the Soul Reapers. They're corrupt as hell, and they're bitches too for not helping the Quincy's. I just feel like this could be resolved if the Soul Reapers and Quincy's work together, right? For the worlds to stay like this, because this is the, like, I'm advocating for the humans, bro, because I would be with the humans and I would die in the world where everybody's like combined into one universe. Because, bro, what are the humans gonna do? Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Everybody trying to defend the Quincy's, but what about the humans? Lucky took, I can't imagine Chad losing seriously. No, I said that about Chad because they trained, obviously, right, with Squad Zero, so he improved. So I was like, hey, maybe. Like, we know there was a lot of mystery about Chad's power being originated from the devil and shit like that. And I was like hoping, like, hey, from all these guys, only Chad looks like he might be able to do something, knowing full well that the royal guards from, you know, YHWACH are OP. But still, I was hoping he can do it. He couldn't. But I said it mostly as a gag. Like, hey, maybe I'm being hopeful, so like, don't take it too seriously. Sometimes you guys take me too seriously. Okay. Dude, Chad don't have any chance. Yeah, I know. Now I know. Okay, we're just being hopeful. you can't really blame URYU for choosing his people. I'm not blaming URYU for anything. I'm just saying it's a switch up. I'm just acknowledging the switch up. You guys keep getting on my ass like I'm blaming him. I'm not blaming him. I am blaming him for trying to kill Ichigo with no remorse. That is kind of crazy, but that's again a switch up. And I'm just acknowledging it. I'm not blaming URYU. He can do whatever he wants. He's his own man. After all, Ichigo could choose Quincy's side too, but no, it's not the same. It's not the same. Like, URYU was raised as a Quincy, Ichigo wasn't. It's not the same at all. The race who killed off his people, tortured, yeah, and he worked with Mayuri for 300 episodes. He did not care. He seemed like that was behind him, and then now he's just switching up. That's why I found interesting. That's it. Like, it's not that serious. Okay. Yeah, I answered to this. But the current order is artificial and shouldn't exist. It's a Shinigami-based world. True, but the Soul King did it, and he probably had a good reason to do it. So, who are we to question that? Who is YHWACH to question that? And yeah, the original that Yuha wished to bring back before the separation of free yeah, but like I said, why did the Soul King do it? There's a reason he did it. Also, I really hope you will see this. The seals don't make Aizen weaker. Yeah, you guys explained that. Apparently, Aizen's gonna be at full power, but the range of his spiritual pressure is being compressed and tied to the Muki, and that's what the seals are for. But that's still not him being at full power, bro. If he can flex his spiritual pressure to make people pass out whenever he goes, that's still nerfing him a bit. I need him to be at 100 capacity, 100%. Oh my god, I love the fighting in the comments. Me too, bro. Me too. I'm gonna like that. He's a Canadian dude. I love him. I love him. His comments are always so positive, even when he doesn't agree with me. So I respect that. Man, I love your reactions. Love you, bro. Yuha is a representative of not messing around. He's here to fuck you up, and that's it. Yuha is a representation of not messing around. Nah, Yuha's a bitch, bro. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I know Yuha's OP. I know he's OP. I'm just trying to understand this whole scenario. Lucky, what are you sipping? Chat can't stand. Okay, I get it. Reaction starts as free. Man, don't cheat. Listen to my intros. Come on, guys. Don't jump straight into the reaction. Reading comments is fun. Watch Avatar Korra, please. Oh my god. That doesn't have nothing to do with the topic. Regardless, I've yapped for like 300 minutes, 30 minutes, and half of you ain't even gonna make it to 3 minutes. So I just wasted my time. But in any case, I am expecting this video to have a lot of hate, some support. But regardless, just to duke it out. Let us duke it out in the comments. This is just my thoughts about URYU and the whole situation of Quincy's. It's a very complex issue. I'm not advocating for the Soul Reapers. They're a bunch of bitches. The Quincy's are whiny bitches too, but I'm just advocating for the humans because ultimately they're the helpless ones in this whole scenario. And the free worlds work best for them, so I'm advocating for that because the Quincy's can find a way to survive in this world. In the one world, bruh, the humans are fucked. That being said, I ain't gonna prolong this that much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and put out some One Piece videos because a lot happened in One Piece, bro. We need to talk about that as well. I'm trying to find the time, so yeah, stay tuned. See you. Love you. Bye.